if you want good money, so freelancing has good money, because if you work for the higher economy such as Europe or US, you will get really good pay compared to the average person who is working in IT industry in India for, let's say, next 10 years. So that is the same amount of pay you can earn after the college. And this is like the first time I had a podcast where I talked about all of the different things rather than tech. So it was a like very good experience, because I've been to a lot of podcasts, and it is only generally centered around freelancing, how to get a client, make money, and everything. But this was something new. So thank you for inviting.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first interview on this channel. These interviews are going to be all about tips and tricks to land a successful career in tech. I'm Josh. I work as a data engineer at Google, and we have seen a lot of YouTube videos about interviews and podcasts where people talk about how they've made it in their life by going into FAANG. But you can be 100% successful even without going into FAANG. So today we have one such special guest with us who is going to prove just that. He is Darshil Parmar. He is a freelancer. He's a data engineer. He's a YouTuber with around 25,000 subscribers. And he's also an ex-data scientist. We are going to talk to him about himself and also how he did it. So it's going to be an interesting conversation. Let's jump right in. So I guess first things first, happy Independence Day. I know it was just yesterday, but
Yes,
this time
yeah.
celebration feels definitely different and on a larger scale, right?
Yeah. Happy Independence Day to you too. I mean, yeah, it's like 75th Independence Day, so it's a like very big deal for us. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, did you do anything special yesterday?
So, yes. So I'm learning guitar from last 2 years. So, so we had like event at our like guitar class. So I went there. We were just jamming, playing guitar, and on patriotic song and other songs. So yeah, that was pretty fun evening yesterday. So I guess that's all I did, and I recorded one video. So yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Guitar. I mean, I have always wanted to learn guitar, but I guess I was very late to the party. I can play tabla very well. I'm a
Oh, that's
Visharad in
amazing.
tabla. I've learned it for over 10 years. But guitar was something that I always wanted to play because it seemed, really cool as a child. And even right
Yeah.
now, it feels like a very cool
Yes.
instrument to play.
So I say it's never too late. I mean, I have like people coming who are like in 40s and 50s. They are still starting.
All right, cool. So, some quick short questions. There are no
Yeah.
right or wrong answers for this.
All right.
So, Mac or PC?
I've been using PC for a very long time, but Mac, I mean, I can't beat that. So I bought MacBook last year, MacBook M1, and this is like the one of the best investment I've ever made in my life. So I'd say Mac any day.
Yeah. All right, so next one, iPhone or Android?
iPhone. Yeah. I guess entire Mac ecosystem, because I transitioned from Android PC to Mac. Now I can't go back. So once you go in with the Apple ecosystem, how they connect, even if you want to copy text or send like huge video from your phone to Mac, it's just like it takes like 5 seconds. Yeah. It used to take me like 2 hours before. So yes.
I agree. And I had iPhone, but now just I wanted to use S22 Ultra for so long. I was like, no, I really want to use this phone. So for that phone, I got out of the ecosystem. It's definitely not easy syncing with devices.
Yeah.
True. All right. So what is your favorite programming language?
Definitely Python. So I initially started with PHP, like when I started my web development career. So I was very into the HTML, CSS, JavaScript kind of thing. So at the time, I was like very good with PHP. Like I used to do a lot of different things on backend server. Then I went into data science and everything. So it's now just one language, Python, because you can literally do anything if you want. Like even web development, data science, data engineering, whatever you say, you can do it in Python. So yeah, Python.
Yeah, totally. What is your favorite editor?
Editor. Oh, so I'm not very editor person. I mean, I used to use Notepad plus plus initially,
That
but
counts.
but
I
these days
love.
I generally use VS Code. Yeah.
All right. Great to know little things about you. So I was going through your LinkedIn profile and I read a specific article about freelancing. So can you tell me a little bit about how did you get into freelancing and how is your experience been so far?
Yeah. So the decision to convert into freelancer was like very difficult at the initial stage, because after like my graduation, I got a job at like mid-sized startup firm where I was working as a data engineer, and all of my friends went for the masters in US, and I was like, what I'm going to do, because it's been like 1 year. I was doing a job and I was thinking that, is this the something I want to do for the rest of my life? So I didn't want to go for the masters because I didn't think it was worth it for me at that particular time. And I also had some family issues, so I had to stay in India only. So I was finding different ways so to scale up my career or earn extra money. So I thought job is not going to give me in next to 2 to 3 years if I go with that path. So what else I can try? Maybe I can start my own company, but I had no expertise in that. So I was like, uh, what I'm going to do. So I heard about freelancing. So initially I thought freelancing is kind of a scam thing, because most of the stories I've read, like they got scammed, the client did not pay and everything. But I thought, let's try it, let's see how it goes. And I mean, I had nothing to lose at that particular time because I had a good job. So I thought we'll start the freelancing thing on the side. So I signed up on these platforms like Upwork, Fiverr. Like these are the general platforms. So if you're a beginner, if you want to do freelancing, so you can sign up on these platforms. So I created my profile. So this Upwork has this, at that particular time, I'm not sure about right now, but they had this selection criteria. So in the selection criteria, they first check your profile and then they approve. So my profile got rejected for like 15 to 20 times when I actually uh, created my profile.
I really had no idea that they have such criteria.
Yeah, I guess right now they don't, I'm not sure, but at that particular time it was very competitive. So I thought it's not going to work for me, but one day like you keep trying different things to improve your profile. So I kept reading more blogs, like researched on it, how to create a good profile. You have to spend time on this. Like you can't be like एक घंटे में you create the profile and it's done. It's not how it works. So I spent more time like creating my profile picture, writing the good description, and finally my profile got approved. So this is just the stage one. Now I thought like my profile got approved, I just have to submit the proposal and I'll get the job and I'll start earning money. But that is not how the things work, because like you, there are thousands of people who are also applying for the same job, and client is only going to choose one or two people based on the requirement. Generally what I used to do before uh, I got rejected, I used to talk about myself that I have 2 years of experience in data engineering. I can do this for you, that for you. I have worked with this, and I realized that no one cares how many years of experience or what you have done. The client is only focusing on their problem. They want a person who can solve that. They don't care like if you are like college pass out or like 50 years of experience. They want to know whether you can solve this problem or not. So I thought, okay, let's try with the solution. So this was the first proposal I submitted after a long time, that I gave him the entire solution, that this is the architecture diagram. These are the services we are going to use. I spent around like 2 to 3 hours to prepare the entire proposal. Created the Google architecture diagram properly. Sent him like 2 to 3 different solution, and I got the reply in 5 minutes. And this is how the thing started. That the uploading proposal is just a one thing, because client is going to get it from the 50 people. He's only going to send reply to selected people after that. So I was a lucky one, I got the reply, and then the stage comes where you get on the call and talk to client and explain him the solution, and you sell yourself. Basically this is the selling part, the closing. You said you say like you need to close the client. So this is where the actual skills come, like all of the experience you had in your life, uh, everything from the technical skills to communication skills falls into this particular place. So you go on a call, you try to talk to clients and tell him that I'm the right person out of everyone who applied for this proposal, so you should give me this particular job. So this is how the journey started. And then initially I had like 1 to 2 clients, then I got more clients, and then I decided to quit my job. And yeah, this is how the freelancing has been going. Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like we have to put in a lot of work before even we get the project in order to get the project. And that I don't think would be billable, right? It's just you have to do
No,
it for free.
it's I mean, it's a risk you have to take. I mean, here's the thing, you have to stand out from the crowd. and the only way you're going to do that is by actually putting the work. If you're just going to copy paste the template you found online, like a lot of people can do that, so you won't be able to stand out. So that is the reason that worked for me. Yeah.
True, true. So when I, generally hear somebody's experience with freelancing, that usually comes into my mind that it's not my cup of tea, because there is, I don't know, a lot of pressure involved, because you have to keep selling, right? And you have to keep getting new projects. You have to make sure that, because you don't, if you're doing freelance 100% of the time, if you're doing it on the side, it's a different story. But if you do it like fully 100% of the time, it does it become stressful that you have to get another project, or am I running out of projects, something like that?
So at the initial stage it might feel that when I started, so I was doing with my job, so uh, I did not worry about like if I don't get the projects or anything because I had the stable job. But when I started getting, so in the freelancing, one of the best is the remote job. I mean, you can call it a freelance, but it is like the contract based remote job. It's the same as job, but you do it remotely. That's the only difference. I mean, you don't get all of those like the PTOs and everything. Those, keeping those things aside, like health insurance, everything that comes under the CTC part, but you will get the entire money to your hand. So that is a good thing. So you can do it by yourself. So this is one of the key part, that if you can get a client. So for in my case, I have a Wayfair right now. I work there as a contract basis. Now, there are a lot of companies who also look for the people for the like remote jobs or contract basis, or like maybe 6 months projects for the trial. So if you do well, they will extend your contract definitely. They're not going to fire you because they found a good resource who can actually do the work. And also for the companies, it is very less overhead. They don't have to manage you. They just have to worry about paying you. That's it. All of the work you will do, everything will be done by you. So it is stressful at a lot of times because you have to work on weekends also. You will have to meet deadlines, complete the project. There is a risk of getting a project over or getting fired because of some other cases. So risks are involved, but again, it's a trade-off that if you want good money, so freelancing has good money because if you work for the higher economy such as Europe or US, you will get really good pay compared to the average person who is working in IT industry in India for let's say next 10 years. So that is the same amount of pay you can earn after the college. You can do that. That is reality. People think that it is a dream, but it is possible, and a lot of people are doing it right.
Yeah, it's good thing that you mentioned that. You obviously said that you earn a lot of money compared to people who are working in India, because you're working remotely for somebody else. And yeah, it's common for freelancers to earn 30 to 50, $60 an hour, right? And so before like the audience starts thinking that, oh, paisa hi paisa hoga, what are your suggestions that just some of the pitfalls that you should avoid, or some of the things that you should consider before going into freelancing?
So if first of all, like the money part is only the if you're just going behind the money, you will burn out. There's a thing because you will only work for the number of hours rather than actual work. So it is really important that whatever skill you choose, you you should be really good at it. I'm not saying you should be an expert, but you should know the basic things around those skills. So in my case, it was data engineering because this is my core skill set right now. So I knew one of the like AWS cloud, GCP cloud, and some of the services. So I stick around that. So I make sure that I stay there, and this is my core skill set, and so I keep updating myself, keep learning new things. So that is one of the things that you need to make sure that whatever skill you choose, you keep working on that because you are selling your services and your knowledge.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Great thoughts. Awesome.
Yeah.
So in your YouTube channel, I recently saw a video where you said that you have switched from data scientist to being a data engineer. So what inspired to make that switch, and how has it been so far?
So yes, so I did not know about data engineering before. So as I said, like I was into web development. I wanted to switch my career to something new because I was kind of bored with the web development part. So I thought data science is the cool thing. It was back in like 2017 and 18, and I also wanted that title on my LinkedIn, data scientist. It looked cool, but so I kept learning about data science. So I spent around 1 year learning everything about machine learning, data science, and I did few internships also. Uh, and I kind of in my internship I got a project, was purely machine learning and data science based project, and I was working on it, and I realized that this is okay. I mean, the data science is cool, but this is not something I want to do for the rest of my life right now, because it was more of a like business oriented. You need to make sure like model building, the repetitive work, the data cleaning, transformation. You need to understand the business side more and solve the problem. And I wanted technical also, so I was spending more time on like the front end tools or some enterprise tool to get the insights or build a dashboard. So I wanted technical side also. So I got the data engineering. I got introduced to data engineering because it was a startup company. So you have to wear multiple hats. So I was learning DevOps, data engineering, everything together. So there was no specific role for me. So I got some data engineering projects, and in data engineering, I realized that it was both. So you work on the core technologies, like you build a real-time streaming pipeline or patch pipelines. You clean the data, you write some code, you do SQL, you also do visualization. So you also need to understand business, because to build the right data structures, like the final data, you need to know what business wants. So it's kind of like the link between the technology and the business. You are like the person who is sitting between and helping business to take decision, but also preparing data, writing pipeline codes and everything. So this is where I found like, oh, this is much cooler, I say, like, more than data science, because in web development I used to only work on the technology side. In data science, in my case, I mean, talking from my point of view, I was only working on the business side. But in data engineering, it was both, combination of both. So I really liked it. So I thought, let's switch this career into this. I didn't know this career was going to boom after 2 to 3 years, but currently we are here, and I see like a lot of opportunities in data engineering right now.
Yeah, true, true. And good that you mentioned that because a lot of people assume, especially even on my network, I've received some requests that data science and data engineering are interchangeable. In if you work in a startup, yeah, that can be true,
Yeah,
but not in general, right? Like in a pyramid, data engineering falls in the
yeah,
bottom layer, and then you do data science on top of that. In that
exactly.
also you do ML, and then AI comes in the very top of that pyramid itself. All right. So, what are the most exciting projects that you have worked on? Is it on the data science side? Is it on the data engineering side, or on the web development side?
So one of the project the machine learning data science part. So I was working for some US clients, some e-commerce based product, where they were trying to figure out, like, predict whether the seller is going to ship the product or not. I mean, what was happening is that customer places an order, but seller does not ship that order. So they wanted to figure out who are those sellers beforehand, before even the action is going to take the place, because this impacts the overall company's future. Because when a customer comes, they actually purchase the product. Let's say if you go to Amazon, if you buy a product but it does not get shipped for you, then you're not going to go to that website. And if the company is very small, then that impacts the overall performance of the trust between the customer. So this was like one of the cool projects I worked on, the space of data science. So I learned about the cloud thing, the AWS SageMaker, like how to build a model on like large scale, how to deploy them, how to do the prediction in real time. So this was one of the good projects I worked on.
Yeah, ML and AI definitely sounds cool, even today's world. It looks like, oh, how did you achieve that with the power of AI?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so a lot of work goes behind that the data engineer does. Like no one knows, but yeah, but people are realizing the impact. So I read this case study beforehand. So when the data science boom was coming, a lot of companies hired data scientists to do the data science work. So what they did, they had some data, and they hired some bunch of data scientists and told them, this is our data, take this data and give something, and do some magic and give something. And data scientists were like confused at that time, because data was completely messy, there was no structure, nothing was right. And that is the reason the data engineering boom came, because they wanted a people first who structure these data, and then data scientists can actually do this. So that was a pretty cool case study I've read. Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
true. All right. And I always tell my viewers either here or on LinkedIn that getting into, like, especially in India, people believe that getting into FAANG is like the target that is when somebody is a fresher, that they believe, oh, I want to get into Amazon, I want to get into Google, right? But it shouldn't really be a make or break like that if you want to be successful. There are so many more things that you can do, so much more that you can achieve. And but I can basically say that taking the less traveled road can also get you successful, right? And you are such example. So what would you advise to somebody for who is just starting out his career in data engineering world?
So the FANG thing, I mean, even I had the initial goal of the FANG because I used to follow in my career. I used to see a lot of people getting in Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, and you think that life is good, everything is good. When you're in college, it looks very exciting, but when you actually work in the company, it's different story. So I'm not saying it is good, I'm not saying it is bad, but what you expect and what you really get is always different. So people, first you should know that if you are going behind those FANG thing, always make sure that if this is something you want, are you chasing the your interest or just a status? If you're just going behind the status, and then you will leave the company in 6 months and you will end up nowhere, because a lot of people just leave it because they thought that I wanted something this, then I got this. So always keep your expectation right. Like, you're working in Google, but you already worked a lot of things before that. I mean, you worked in some of the companies, you already have the experience, so you know what to expect. But this is generally for the freshers. I mean, if you are a fresher, then always make sure that you set the right expectation. Don't think that if you don't get into FANG that your career is over. That's not how the things work, because
And
generally
also,
people
if
believe
I
that.
some people believe that, oh, if I get into Google, I'll be working on the next tensor chip
Yeah.
and creating the next vision API. It's not like
Yeah,
that.
that's not, yeah.
Especially freshers, you are often far away from the end product because you have
Yes.
obviously a lot of things to learn. So yeah, that's a correct point. You have to get your expectations right.
Yeah.
All right. So switching gears a little, do you have any side hobbies apart from YouTube and
Oh,
guitar?
YouTube. Side hobbies. That's a tough one. I'd say one of my hobbies I generally say is YouTube and guitar. Because guitar is something, so I work out. So I'm not sure that is a hobby, but I try to keep myself fit. I play games. Uh,
Yeah, me too.
so
Where do you play?
this is the online strategy games. I'm talking about computer games. So it's if you have heard about Defense of the Ancient Dota 2, this is one of the online strategy game. So I play that. Other than that, I like reading books. So yeah, I guess, yeah, these are the things I generally do. Like, read books, spend time. These days it's mainly about data engineering, YouTube, guitar, books, sometimes video recordings, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, great, great. Do you have any plan for like 5 years down the line?
Yeah, I keep thinking about that too. So one of the thing I want to do is maybe launch a mentorship program for like data engineering. So I've been planning to do that. The thing is, in the industry, a lot of people are doing it, but I think there's like a lot of gap for the fresher also. I mean, first of all, some things are expensive, so I don't think it should be that expensive, and also it is not properly structured in my case. So I want to share my experience. Second plan is like maybe mainly focusing on YouTube. I mean, I miss the consistency part also, but I try to stay consistent by working on the quality video. So I always make sure the quality of the video should be on the first priority rather than just creating the content.
All right, all right. This was awesome. Great talking to you, Darshil. Do you have
Yeah.
anything to say to my 20 viewers watching this video?
Definitely not 20. It will grow eventually. I'm definitely sure. So it will become 2 lakhs soon. Don't worry. So yes. Viewers, I mean, I'd say I already said a lot of things, but again, if you're a beginner, uh, it's okay to be confused. I mean, either should I do data science, data engineering, machine learning? It's always the case in general in our space. I mean, talking from the our space, right? Because people interact on your channel, on my channel, from the tech point of view. So uh, it's okay to be confused, but if you're a beginner or a fresher, try to explore multiple things. So if you're confused between should I become a data scientist or data engineering? Do both. I mean, spend like six months on both and see what interests you most, and then think about what you want to choose. Because if you just think about something but never execute it, then you will end up nowhere. So make sure you spend some time exploring one field, and if you don't like it, then move on. This is what I've done. I went into, again, web development, data science, machine learning, and I realized that these are the things are good and also helping me right now to understand the technology from larger point of view. But I don't want to work into this. I want to work in data engineering. Now let's say after 2 years I get bored of a data engineering, then I will find maybe blockchain. So blockchain, if I even if I go there, I will also have the knowledge of these things also. I will not lose the knowledge. So whatever you learn is not never going to get waste. So don't worry about it that if I spend like 6 months into data science, then I'm going to waste my career. That's not how things work. Whatever you learn, you will always use that somewhere in the future. So when you invest time in learning, it will always pay you back. Yeah.
Right, right. All right. Okay, that's it what I had. Darshil, thanks a
Awesome.
lot for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. And this is like the first time I had a podcast where I talked about all of the different things rather than tech. So it was a like very good experience because I've been to a lot of podcasts, and it is only generally centered around freelancing, how to get a client, make money, and everything. But this was something new. So thank you for inviting. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Thank you. So did you like this video? Don't forget to leave a big thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. Also subscribe to my channel because it's a new channel and I need as much of support as possible. Do you have any questions, suggestions? Let me know in the comment section below. I respond to each and every one of them.